Welcome to Turtleneck Tabletalk, the podcast that seeks to highlight high-performing individuals and to learn about their purpose towards their passion. I'm Devin, and this is Austin, and we are your handsome, intelligent, humorous, and most importantly, humble host. And we are excited for today's episode as we continue to highlight the incredible sport of rugby.
That's right. Yeah. If you guys don't know about women's rugby, this conversation is for you. For those of you who want to hear from two wonderful ladies who play this amazing sport, this conversation is still for you. And for those of you who love Alona Maher, you're going to have to wait a few episodes. She is not on today, but fortunately, we do have Abbie and Abbie of the Wichita Valkyries. Thank you guys for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So yeah, this is the first two guest
duo
episode we've done.
Yeah.
So
yeah, feeling pretty lucky.
Yeah, you picked two pretty great people.
Yeah. So maybe you guys are the lucky ones.
Yeah. So I guess we want to come in pretty hot, Austin.
That's what we do. You know, controversial and whatnot.
Oh.
Controversial topic here, because we want to know if you guys think women's rugby is given the same respect and resources as men's rugby, or do you still feel there's a significant gap that needs to be closed? Whoa.
Ooh,
That is, you are coming in hot.
This is very hot. Yes.
No softball questions, huh? I think it definitely depends on what level you look at. Internationally, you know, I think it's a lot closer than it tends to be in like grassroots clubs. But you definitely do see a discrepancy between the men's and women's sides, I feel like. There is still some, you know, with fans too, you know, you try and hype up the women's game a lot, but they're always like, oh, the women can't do as much as the men. So there definitely is still some discrepancy there, but.
Yeah, I think just like sports in general, I mean, it's come a long way in like recent times, but there is still just like a difference. And I don't know, like not in like a bad way. I think like it's still growing and it's growing progressively. And this year especially, like Alona Maher coming into the picture and being so popular and being loved by so many people, I think it's just like really changed the game for a lot of us like girls. Like our team has really grown this past season, and during the Olympics, because I never know like if my algorithm is just like for me, so I was like, oh yeah, Alona Maher is showing up a lot, that's normal. Or if it's
normal
like
for everyone.
And that I didn't know that until like I went to work and everyone was talking about like women's rugby for the Olympics. And so yeah, I think it's like very closer in margin now, but there is still a difference.
Definitely. Yeah. You talked about like people at work seeing it too. What are you guys' like reactions when you tell people you play rugby outside of from people who already play rugby? Because it's kind of funny for us as well. Like, oh, that's a hard sport. You guys don't wear helmets, do you?
Yeah, definitely a lot of like, oh yeah, that's kind of physical, isn't it? And it's like, yeah, that's the point.
Yeah. I think like, I don't know. I think also because I'm older now, like people are like, "Oh, you play a sport that's that rough," but yeah, people don't really expect it, and they don't expect there to be a team in Wichita. So
yeah, I would say that's like half the time it's, oh, that's cool, that's crazy, that's so competitive and rough, and then half the time it's like, rugby, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, in America, I think a little bit, but it really is growing. I think the Alona Maher and the bronze team that showed out, this sevens team, has boosted your guys' recruitment numbers a lot.
Oh yeah, I think we had maybe 25 girls come out to like our first practice of the season, and we really relied on, I think a lot of teams relied on using the Olympics to kind of convince people to come out and give it a shot, and it definitely helped us for sure.
And for those watching, if 25 doesn't seem like a lot, it's good.
Yes.
Yeah, considering we had 8 beforehand.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you guys have grown awesomely, so that's good to see.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, we want to see some more of that. We want to see more people come out, because more people got to be Alona Maher out here.
Yeah.
Got to see more of those fine ladies coming out. So yeah, I guess
we kind of jumped in a little bit, but if you guys could just tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of your journey into rugby, like, you know, what got you to come out to the field, because it's always so fun to hear people's story about how they first get into rugby, because as you were saying, a lot of people don't even know that it's here in Wichita. And
So I think it's good that you have us, because we have like two very different stories. But for me, my name's Abbie. I'm in the military, so I moved here in 2018. I got stationed here at McConnell, and just traveling around so much and being new to like Kansas in general, I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any friends, and I was at work just wanting to like get involved in things, and I met Chris Norris, who like plays with you guys or played with you guys, and he told me that there was a women's team and to come out, and I did, and I fell in love with it, and I've been playing now, I guess, for 6 years, like on and off, and now I'm the captain of the women's team.
Ooh. Yes. Nice.
My story is vastly different. But I played college basketball at Oklahoma State, and when I got done with my last game, literally still in the locker room, like had just taken my uniform off, I was like, you know what would be really funny if I filmed a TikTok right now? So I made this TikTok that was like, okay, I just finished my college basketball career. What should I do next? I cannot sit still. And all of these rugby people kind of came out of the woodwork, and it accidentally went super viral, and like Alona Mar stitched it, and it was really crazy.
Small flex.
I don't know if you guys knew this, but Alona Mar and I are mutuals on TikTok. Basically best friends. So, we chat sometimes. No, but one of the girls from Oklahoma City reached out to me and was like, hey, there's a team in Oklahoma City. It's only like an hour away. You should come to a practice. And I was like, sure, why not? So I went to one of their practices, and then like 2 weeks later, they happened to have a game against Wichita here.
Shoot.
And so I came up and I played in that, and I got to meet a bunch of the girls, which was convenient because I knew I was going to move up here for a job. So I did that, and then I just haven't really looked back. So I've been playing for like 2.5 years now.
Yeah, you guys both fell in love with it. Was it like love at first sight?
I think for me, just rugby was so much different from the sports I grew playing up. I played basketball.
Both played basketball. Nice. There you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
well,
Is there
not anywhere on that level.
I'm trying to, build a Venn diagram.
Yeah.
Some similarities.
Basketball and volleyball, but nothing like contact or that physical.
Yeah.
And I just like when I first had my first practice, it just felt like it made sense, and I don't know, it just felt like it really suited me.
So it was the first practice for you?
It was the first. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I also like not only the sport, but it was the environment created by the people there. Just like
that's huge.
not knowing. A lot of people are like, I don't want to come out to rugby because I've never played it before. But like for us, we both had never played rugby until like our very first practice with like OKC or Wichita. And a lot of people start playing rugby when they're older. So just like knowing that you can come in with no experience and not be judged for it, I think that like made me want to stick around even more.
Yeah, I'd definitely say the community is kind of what made me stick with it. It's so much different than any other sport. Usually like when I was playing basketball, it was very much you did not like the other team. No. You did not like, you wanted to just beat the tar out of them. Like that was... you were not friends. But with rugby, it's so weird because it's like you'll make a really good tackle or something, and someone will be, the person you tackle will literally go, man, that was a great hit. And you're like, what are you doing? Why are you talking to me? And so that was definitely like a weird change, but I really enjoyed that. And I think that's kind of what has kept me around.
Yeah, for sure.
Agreed. Yeah, I think I could put the never have I ever finger down for ate a meal with someone, the other team after a game.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What other sport does that?
Mm-hmm.
If there is another sport that does that, I'd like to know, maybe, because I'd try that
Yeah.
as well. But this is rugby's cooler though.
I think it like also
there.
has a lot to offer for like anybody. Like if you're looking for community or like friendship or like a competitive sport, like you can come for anything. And so I thought that was also a cool aspect.
Yeah, definitely. Because like if you go anywhere in the world almost and you message them beforehand, another rugby club beforehand, they'll be like, yeah, absolutely, come to practice, come join us. And it feels that simple, which seems too simple. I don't know.
Like there should be a catch
like
or
a
something.
trap.
Yeah. There should be a trap behind it, but there hasn't been so far. So I think that's one amazing aspect about culture, why people should join. But Yeah, it's cool to hear from you guys. And now you guys are captain and presidente.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Yeah.
Big dogs.
Yeah.
How has it been kind of filling into those leadership roles?
Weird. Yeah, going from like only being on the athlete side of things to like you kind of know how like the sausage gets made, but not really. And so like stepping into a leadership position is a change, but it's also kind of nice because you have like a very direct impact on like the success of the team outside of just like playing. So it's nice to know that like the good things that we have done this year, like we have had a direct hand in.
Yeah. I would say, definitely weird. It's been a lot of work, but it's also been really rewarding because, like I said before, we were like just 8 of us or however many it was.
Yeah,
and now
maybe
we're
8.
all on the exec board because we just had to fill the spots. But it's just like to have all these new people come in and be able to like help them grow and them look to us as like leaders and to trust us. We've had, I think our last season was pretty successful for me, at least. To me, it was successful. And I don't know, it's just nice to know that the team is growing into something that will outlast us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the biggest success you saw was just the growth in numbers, right?
Growth in numbers. We won a lot of games this last season, which was really cool. We had help from other teams, but it was.
But for all of our home games, we had 3 home games, which was a crazy number for us. Usually we're lucky if we can pull off 1 home game.
Yeah.
And for all of our home games, we played with all our own players. Like we didn't pull from any other teams, which is pretty abnormal.
Mm-hmm.
So I would consider that like a major success.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Definitely, yeah, for sure. And that we're not playing on. I don't know if I should diss Harrison Park. Dissing Harrison Park on the internet. So. Whoops.
And that was the men's team that just said that, not the women's team. We do not. We don't agree with that.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was a year ago when we were like fighting. We were like turf wars.
It was less turf wars and more like there just wasn't enough space for everyone.
Practice space.
Yeah. The field ain't big enough for the 2 of us. Kind of situation.
Yeah, and it's hard to stand your ground when there's only 8 girls.
Yeah, you can only cover so much space.
Yeah. But you guys are practicing at the Boys and Girls Club?
So we were practicing at the Boys and Girls Club, but since they were letting us practice at Harrison because there's lights, we'll probably just stick with that in the spring. But
we'll go back to war, I guess.
Yeah.
But also in parentheses, like people watching, where do they come and find you?
Yeah.
Harrison Park.
Harrison Park,
Yeah.
for the time being. Or you can follow us on social media at Wichita Valkyries, and you can check for updates there.
Boom, we're going to plug that too, so we won't forget that. But yeah, no, that's awesome. You guys have had all these successes and bouncing back from COVID as well, rebuilding. I don't know if you guys were there after COVID or not, but seems like rugby in general
was just completely down and everything. So could you elaborate on just because the growth, like you said, I mean, to go from 8 people to 20 plus in a matter of like that short amount of time is something that like takes a lot of work and dedication. So can you talk about that process and also just kind of like how it's been navigating, because that's such a big jump. How have you guys been navigating trying to retain all these new girls that are coming at different levels and different expectations? Because you guys were talking about, some people like more the social aspect, but some people are very competitive. So just kind of balancing all that. How do you guys make that work?
Yeah. So after COVID, before COVID, I think since I've been on the team, we've always kind of struggled with numbers. COVID, like leading up to COVID, we were kind of like a decent team. It was looking promising. We were growing. And then COVID happened and we lost so many people. And I mean, like, what can you do during that time? And only a few of us came back. And it took a really long time, like a few years, to just grow the team up until like this past season. We've been struggling. But I don't know. I think Abbie can talk more to our strategy because she handled a lot of that.
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of embarrassing to admit on the internet, but we had another team in our union said they were using like like Bumble Friends and like stuff to get people, and so we were like, really just like at this point we'll try anything. So we splurged for a premium Bumble BFF account.
Visionary.
And yeah,
Oh my goodness, that is so good.
we probably got I don't know, 5 or 6 people from that alone, and then
I think more than that.
yeah, probably more. We had a bunch of girls come out and at least try it out, which is pretty decent, and at least 5 or 6 who have like seriously stuck around and like played a couple of games. And then the Olympics definitely helped. We planned like a Rugby 101 type thing for just like teaching the basics. That was like 3 weeks after the Olympics, so we really tried to capitalize on that.
Mara was on our flyer.
Yeah, we put 2 Olympians on our flyer to really hype it up. It seemed like we were cool like that. But that, and then just a lot of like approaching people, just like going out whenever we were out as a team or something. We had business cards and we would just talk to people, try and get their phone numbers and try and hype up the team, which sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't, but that was kind of like our recruiting approach.
It was fun for us, at least. So when it was just like our 8 people, we would have like dedicated days where we would meet up and try to go out into the town and pass out business cards. And we probably didn't get very many people doing that, but we bonded a lot as like as a team.
As a group of 8.
I think Garth said it, and I think about it a lot. He during our last banquet, he talked about like the 8 of us, and he said that other teams were really enjoying playing us, even though it was just 8 of us, and we couldn't provide like a full team to actually like come out and play. But people liked hanging out with us. People liked playing us. They liked just like being around us because we had built such a solid foundation with each other, that other people were just like picking up on that. And I think when we started to grow the team, people were coming in and they were picking up on that too and like wanting to stay around. So
yeah. The Bumble thing is
crazy.
It's funny, but it plays into the community thing.
Yeah.
Like, just people wanting community, find it through all sorts of means, you got to be innovative these days.
I mean, we definitely used a lot of like social media, like Facebook groups and things like that.
Devin knows about that social media life, so gotta use it. Gotta use it.
Yes.
I don't know, but hey, now you're here, and now you guys got more people to play into some hopeful, visions and goals for the club. What's kind of the upcoming goals that you guys want to hit? Is it winning the league? What are we looking at here? What are we looking at?
Well, I don't know if you guys knew this, but we don't play for merit because we didn't really have enough people up until this season. So our big goal when our current exec board first got elected, our goal for the year was just recruit, have enough players by the end of the year to play full games by ourselves, which we did pretty successfully this season. So I think our next goal is probably try and move up to D2 because there's no D3 for women. So probably move up with the D2 teams and start trying to play for merit.
Yeah, that's one thing I wish more Midwest towns would have it, so more competition could take place. But we've been to Denver and St. Louis for league games, and it's like, dude, we don't have the money to travel like that. But that's something that will probably keep improving, especially with the World Cup coming up. I think a lot of people are gonna tune into that and check it out. So what are you guys excited for with that? I mean, with
the World Cup coming up, that one of Mars trying to. Is she playing?
So I know she's going to the Bristol Bears so that she can try and get onto the U.S. team for that. But I mean, it'll just be exciting to watch a bunch of rugby. I know when the Men's World Cup happened, I was like, nobody at Textron listened to this, but I was like, I had my phone up next to my desk. And I was like working and I was glancing at my phone during the game. I was trying to like watch bits of it. So
you're better than me. I put it up on our big TV in the office.
Your tax dollars at work.
Hey, wow.
You're welcome.
You are using the taxpayers' money for that, aren't you?
Yeah, you paid me to watch rugby at work. Thank you for your service.
There's
actually.
There's worse things. Yeah. There's definitely worse things to pay taxes for, but no, yeah, it is cool that it's coming to America.
Cut that out.
You got that, Luke? Anyway, I don't even know where to. But World Cup, right?
Yeah, how about those women rugby players?
Yeah, we're so good at rugby in America. The women are. The women are.
Yeah, they're
the men are good
beasts.
at sevens, but you could definitely take the cake as far as overall performance.
Oh, for
goes.
sure.
So good on that. We'll do better.
We'll try.
Yeah.
We'll do better. Yeah. No, I just ended on a self-depreciating note there, so I don't know where to pick up. We're all out of sorts as hosts today. I'm sorry. Yeah. What do you got for me, Devin? pick up a bullet point here.
So going in, you guys have been not only transitioning from like obviously playing and everything, but stepping into your leadership roles. What has been, you feel like, your biggest challenge as being leaders on the team, on especially a growing team? Like, where do I begin?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think for me it was just like imposter syndrome. Like, I was just playing as a player and not really paying attention to the rules, just doing whatever on the field. And so that's kind of embarrassing to admit. But being like the captain now, it's just like I keep having to talk to Jillian, who's our old captain, and be like, is this right? But just like trusting my like experience, I think that has been a little bit of a challenge. But since the season has gone on, it's I think gotten easier and I guess better because I've been paying more attention. So
To Abbie's credit, she has been doing a great job as captain for this being her first time. So
we appreciate some
This
confidence.
this is literally her first.
oh yeah, that's my first time.
She's only been captain for like 6 months, so she's doing a good job.
My bad.
But I would say for me, my biggest challenge, and this was my biggest challenge just transitioning to rugby in general, was going from such like a high level sport to like, you kind of get used to certain things. Like you just get on the bus and then everyone tells you where to go and what to do and your outfit's picked out for you and you just show up to practice and you do your thing. And it's like all that. And then coming to, a grassroots rugby team where you have to wash all of your own jerseys and you have to drive to every game and stuff like, and like not just that, but like just the level of like commitment. A lot of people are there for fun, which is fine. That's what we're here for. We're here to have fun and to, have a great community around us. But that was definitely like hard for me just sports wise. So then trying to transition into like leadership and doing like the admin stuff, like trying to figure out how do we buy new jerseys? How do we reserve these fields and schedule games and trying to figure all that stuff out. And then just trying to kind of separate like being in charge from like hanging out with my friends. Like, yeah, we're in an exec meeting and like we're having fun and we all know each other and we like each other, but like let's get on track. Let's like plan our stuff out. So that was a little bit of a struggle, but I think we all kind of have adjusted well to that.
Being professional with your friends is definitely weird.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think sometimes it gets over professional with some of those board meetings with rugby, but I don't think we want to get into that.
I don't know. Have you ever been to a foundation meeting?
Have you been to a board meeting? Like, I feel like you're speaking out there. Okay.
I was gonna say I showed up and Dave Ferris asked me if I wanted a beer or a margarita. So like,
okay, maybe they get over like complicated and stuff like that. It was probably the better term. For
They
that.
sound passionate.
They are. They're very. I will say the foundation. They definitely want what's best for Wichita Rugby, which I really appreciate.
For sure. Yeah, and I think there's definitely been some good steps. So we're getting there slowly.
Yeah. Then Rome wasn't built in a day.
Well,
Yeah.
it was not. Probably over 100 days.
At least.
Like, at least.
Maybe 200 even.
Maybe.
I don't know. But yeah, that's cool. So we went through your goals and your vision with the club. Do you guys have any like personal goals with rugby? Is there something that you want to see improvement within your own game?
Oh,
Yeah, we're doing this like a panel. I kind of didn't want for that to happen.
You
but
literally was like, that was the
it's-
number one thing you didn't want, and yet you are staring it that way.
Let's all say our goals now.
at one time. Yeah. Here's the microphone for the panel.
Personal goals. Since we're transitioning out, well, hopefully transitioning out of a social club, personally, I would like to play more than 40 minutes straight. But I'm getting older, so I'm going to blame it on that.
How old are you again?
Ooh.
Maybe don't answer that. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out there. For me, my personal goals probably would be more like last year. Was it last year? No, it was not last summer, but 2 summers ago, I had the opportunity to play with the Premier Rugby Sevens team, which was really cool. And I kind of just stumbled into that opportunity on accident. So one of my goals is to get back to that and be picked up on a team again and get to play now that I actually kind of know what I'm doing and I understand the rules of rugby and a little bit more of the strategy. I would love to get to play on another professional team. That would be fantastic.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
You made my goal look like...
Sorry, I didn't mean to shit on you.
But we're showing rugby is for everybody.
It's
like,
for
yes.
Yeah. Good one. Dude, look at that. All-inclusive thing.
Can you
Nice.
cuss on this podcast?
Oh, yeah. Oops, just bleep that out in post.
We'll make dolphin noises. Dolphin noises. I've always wanted to bleep out stuff with dolphin noises. But anyway, yeah, no, that's cool because the Premier Sevens is like, I don't want to say it's like the top professional league in the world, but it's There's-
Not in the world,
there's-
but
there's
in
a lot
the
of
U.S.
Olympians
The
there.
US,
There's a
for
lot
sure.
of
There
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
There were like, that's why they didn't do it this past year's because they have something like 40-something Olympians
Yeah.
play in
Yeah.
PR7s. And so because it takes place in the summer and they knew a lot of them weren't going to come because of the Olympics, they just didn't do it this year. But yeah, the team that I played on had a Canadian Olympian and three U.S. players, 3 sevens players. So
Which
that
one was
was
it?
the Steel Toes.
Oh, okay. Do you play with Sammy Sullivan?
She's
Nice.
a beast. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, she's
Oh.
I
insane.
didn't know you did.
Yeah.
I know you were in like eyesight of Ruby Tui.
Yes, I was wandering around our hotel one night on the phone with my parents, and she was upstairs, like a level above, like throwing a rugby ball against the wall. And I was like, wow, that's so humbling. She's just out here working on her skills. She's just sitting here in this hotel room.
Everybody needs practice.
Yeah,
So instead of getting mad at someone, just boom, boom.
yeah, on her grind.
Inspiring to make noise in the hotel.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Sorry.
Bleep that out. But no, she was my favorite Olympian because of her love for Legos, and I feel like
Oh, yeah?
that was super inspiring to me. But she is taken, unfortunately, so we're
Yeah.
not going to continue
Unfortunately.
this segment. Yeah. But if you see her again,
Hey, Sammy, if you and your husband ever get divorced, I've got someone for you. If you're watching. Sammy, if you're watching this podcast.
maybe just give me some Legos or something. I don't know. How do I recover from this? Oh gosh. All right. We'll just move on. Yeah. We have like some stuff here that I'm gonna scroll and find.
So we've been talking a little bit, and we touched base a little bit, but wanted to kind of hone in a little bit more about recruitment and just new people who might be interested in rugby. So
Yeah.
if there's like there's somebody out there that's like don't really know too much about rugby or anything, maybe saw it in the Olympics and whatnot, what advice would you give to them about the sport, about coming out? Like, how would they get into rugby? Yeah.
So I would say we are pretty easy to contact. If you just look up Wichita Valkyries, Rugby, RFC.
Something like that.
Something
Yes.
like that.
Something
Wichita
like that.
Valkyries.
Please.
We're the yellow one. And if you like message us on Facebook or Instagram, you'll most likely get a reply from Abbie. Or just like us personally, I would reply to a message about rugby.
Yeah, I guess my biggest thing would be don't be afraid to reach out, or if you're nervous about anything, getting outside of your comfort zone can be scary, but I think it can be really rewarding. I've seen a lot of people who have, played sports and come out and enjoyed it, or who have never played a sport in their life and have come out and learned like from the very basics and really enjoy rugby. So if you're nervous about anything, I can't just say don't be, because that's not very good advice. But if you are nervous, try and overcome that fear, because come to one practice and just check it out. We always tell people who are like, oh yeah, I want to give it a shot, but I don't know like if it's for me. Just come out and watch, meet the team, talk to the girls, because I think that would dissuade a lot of people's fears, just like talking to the players and kind of hearing about it from us.
I also think debunking rumors are just false narratives, where like rugby, people just think like you have to be big and like muscly or whatever, and I don't think when Abbie approaches them
I got banned from helping recruit, actually.
They were like, they sent I don't know if you guys know Sydney, she's like our short little wing. We sent her to go do all of our recruiting, because people see her and they're like, oh, I have to tackle that, I can do that. Rugby. Sydney's a great rugby player though.
Sydney is a great rugby player. We love her to
Shout out
death. She's
Sydney.
super quick and we love her, but
I tell people the same thing. I'm like, we have guys like weigh 160 out there. I'm not telling them about the Siones we run into, like 300-pound Islanders. We don't do that. That's not how we recruit.
No.
But there are. We'll just stop talking about that.
I mean, at least for the women's side, I don't know if the men's side says this, but we always say everybody's a rugby body, because there's a spot for everyone on the field.
So like if you feel like maybe you want to come out and try it, but you just don't feel like you're fit for it physically or like size wise, I would say just still come out and try it, because you would be surprised. Every position is different. Every position like does a different thing. So,
all my friends who come out, I tell them one practice, you can quit after that. They'll usually come again. So it's worth the try, absolutely.
And it's pretty cheap, I would say. Like you only need cleats and a mouth guard usually, and even if you are just trying it out, you don't even need those things. So
that's a big plus over like American football, at least for guys. You don't have to buy a helmet, shoulder pads, and
but you guys have the added benefit of there's nowhere else to play football as an adult, so the next logical step is rugby.
Dude, have you seen some of these like there's like a no pad football league where it's just ridiculous. I don't think many people do this at all. I think it's less popular than rugby, as it should be.
That sounds really bad.
I don't know where I saw this clip, but it was just a bunch of like retired D1 guys, no pads, just running into each other.
Because they didn't lose enough brain cells playing D1 football?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you have
that would explain making that choice.
You have to meet a quota for that at least. But we're happy from your D1 transition to the correct sport. I don't know. Most people, I gave it a shot after football, and I think it's better just for the team aspect. And I think that's what keeps a lot of people around. There's no highlighted individuals. Like even in basketball's a team sport, but there's the star players and stuff like that. Same with football, there's the quarterback. So I think rugby does a great job of everyone's passing, everyone's tackling, everyone's doing the same things. So I think that's a real good piece of advice when you try to bring in people is, hey, you're going to be doing the same things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's cool.
I always try to push the social aspect too, because like socials are just so much fun to me. I love like going out and hanging out with the other team, meeting new people. I also think it's like a great way for networking. I've met like a lot of different people through rugby. So if you're just looking to meet new people, I think it's a great way to do that too.
Yeah, very underrated LinkedIn booster.
Trying
to make those connections, you can do that through rugby as well. So, it was a good piece of it. But I don't think
What's as we're kind of continue to talk about recruitment, can you guys share like maybe one of your favorite like rugby stories? It could be funny, it could be heartfelt, whatever you feel.
Rugby stories.
I don't think I have any that are appropriate to share online.
You know how it is.
That may be true.
I guess maybe my most heartfelt rugby story would be like, I feel weird bringing this up again, but when I played on my professional team, obviously I was very clearly like the least experienced person there. I had barely been playing rugby a year. I was by far the least in shape person because it's all these Olympians and like college rugby players and all of this stuff. And the team I played on was coached by a woman who's the coach at Princeton for their women's rugby team. Coach Josie, we love her. And she was, I assume she knew coming in that I was probably going to be the weak link. And she was really nice about like helping me through drills and like terminology that they used and all these different things. And all the girls really, like, they totally could have just brushed me aside and been like, oh, she's not really going to play that much. She's only here for one tournament. But they were super helpful and so nice. And it was just like the immediate like sense of friendship and community I had, like spending a week with those girls was just like, it was so, I was like, wow, I love this sport. I love rugby.
It's awesome. Was that up in, you said the Steel Toes?
Yeah.
Pittsburgh?
Yeah. But it's, Pierre Sevens is weird. So none of us are actually from Pittsburgh, but I played in the Austin tournament.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
There you go.
I think for me, I got invited to play with the Indigenous Warriors. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them, but they are just like they're
like a travel rugby team.
Yeah, and they are mainly made up of Indigenous people, and so I thought that was pretty cool to. I got invited by a girl who plays with OKC, Zoe Fox, and I just thought it was for like Native Americans, but she was like, "Oh no, you're brown, you can come." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And so the tournament I went to was in Alaska. It was Midnight Sevens, and I didn't know anyone except for her and one other girl that plays for OKC, and I kind of was like in my rugby, I guess, career, I was kind of like ready to like hang it up. I just like, it was getting really discouraging with our team not growing and everything. And I was just like, I don't know how much longer I'm going to do this. But I made it happen. I went to Alaska and I showed up not knowing anybody. I don't really like, I'm not good at like putting myself out there and like meeting new people. And they were all like super welcoming, and it was just nice to be around such a large group of people who wanted you there, even though they like had no idea your like skills or just you as a person. And I think that experience, just spending like the weekend with them, really changed my perspective on rugby and made me fall in love with the sport all over again.
Absolutely.
So shout out to you guys.
Yeah, if they see this and repost it, so get all those views and everything. Yeah, that's awesome though. I think everyone has a good story like that because rugby is pretty consistent across the board with good community.
Yeah, for sure.
Inclusive people, So that's always a plus. I don't know if we're wrapping it up here, but
I think we're getting pretty close. Yeah.
I can't tell time. I have no internal clock.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what it does. But yeah, I mean, we want to make sure we promote it as much as we can for you guys, so you guys can get all the recruits in the world.
So what makes Wichita rugby special?
That's kind of a hard question to answer, considering Wichita Rugby is pretty much the only rugby team I've been on. Like I was with OKC for all of like a month before I moved. But I don't know of very many teams or like rugby organizations like in a city that are the teams are as involved with each other. Like I know OKC, like their men's and women's teams are really close, but like they don't really have the foundation like the way that we do, which is nice. Like we have other people that we can rely on, like if we have problems and stuff, like we can reach out to the men's team or to the foundation or something, and usually there's someone who can at least point us in the right direction, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. I think just like for me, I've only ever played with this team too, except like the small times that I've traveled, but I don't really know I don't know what it would feel like to play with anybody else. So I feel like just like the connections we have here, even like the connections between like our teams, the men and women, I don't know what it would feel like elsewhere, and I think it's pretty special here.
Yeah, for sure. I think the heart of America, has some
Yeah.
good connectivity.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's Kansas's. Are we called that?
The heartland.
The heart of America.
Yeah. I mean,
You might need to fact check that one before you post this.
We don't have any live fact checkers on this show.
We'll just go with it then. That sounds right to me.
Hey, Chad, leave a comment below.
Dude, if we were live, that'd be hilarious. Oh, man. Maybe we need to do that.
I don't know how you guys don't do that all the time. I say it when no one's around. I'm like, oh, W's in the chat?
I hate that. I hate the new TikTok slang cult. Abbie, that just made me so mad, and I'm kind of upset we got you on now. No, I'm kidding. The W's in the chat. There's so many other. I mean, Riz is popular now. It's really annoying.
I always say, chat, are we cooked?
Yeah, that one makes me so mad. I'm hiding it very well.
Your
I don't know.
generation?
yeah, like
It is
why
my
are you
generation.
acting-
I was
gonna
you're
say,
the-
we're, like,
you're
really
the
close in
youngest.
age.
I know, but I don't know why it annoys me, but it does. It just does. I don't think I like the. I'm pretty hypocritical while saying this because we're doing a podcast right now. But people who post all their clips online and stuff, I'm just like, oh man,
They'll just put anyone in front of a mic these days.
they will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I
Yeah.
ask you guys a question?
You may.
What do you guys love about rugby?
I think we just keep being repetitive about it because it's
Yeah.
so true. But you initially joined for the competitive edge. I think I joined because I lost high school sports and I didn't have a physical competitive outlet. So I joined rugby, and then you stay because of all the LinkedIn connections and all of that. So really, it is the community and the group of guys that you just wanna keep going out and serve a brother in arms on the field. So
Then lost a bet.
oh, is that
No,
what
I'm
it
just
is?
kidding. But it was something kind of similar because you remember Matt Flett?
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to do obstacle course racing with him at a pretty high level, and he was we were always kind of competing with each other, and he stopped doing races to play rugby because it takes a lot of time and weekends and everything. So I was joking with him that I'm gonna come play rugby and I'm going to take your spot just like I did with obstacle course racing. And so the opportunity came for me to come out to play rugby and enjoyed the brotherhood and everything. And I took his spot. So,
Hey,
so
double
Move?
win.
yeah.
It's not about how.
It doesn't matter how it happened. It doesn't matter if it happened.
Who's in the chat?
W's in the chat?
Matt Cook?
So you were turning you back into a young guy already.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah.
Appreciate it a lot.
I can see the disdain in his eyes over there.
Well, any closing remarks about women's rugby, about the team, anything for anybody who is still on the fence after hearing all this stuff, which I don't see how you could be on the fence. You just need to come out.
Everybody's
But if
gotta
they
come
are,
out for one.
just
If we didn't win you over by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, if our dazzling personalities didn't do it, nothing will.
My closing remark: if you're 18 or older, come play rugby.
Precursor.
Yeah.
That's it. Short and sweet, huh?
Yeah. I mean, what else do I need to say that I haven't already said?
Women's sports in general, especially women's rugby, is on the rise. So, jump in while the getting is good.
Yeah.
It's only going up from here. So if you are interested, if you have any questions or any concerns about it, or you just are like, man, this whole podcast has just gotten me so incredibly hyped to play rugby, reach out to us and we would love to have you.
Yeah. What's our handle again?
I believe it's at Wichita Rugby RFC or Wichita
Valkyries?
Valkyries RFC. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
Valkyries RFC.
Okay.
I'm the social media chair. I should know those.
Yeah,
It's embarrassing.
Huh?
Are we Wichita Rugby or are we just Wichita Barbarians?
Wichita Barbarians, because we lost our other.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Act.
Shout out to you
I
guys.
we unfollowed them.
Yeah, we reported them and everything.
What were they trying to sell? It was
like crypto or
Crypto
stocks or something
stuff,
weird.
yeah, it was.
Almost got me.
But they put in some work. Like they you know,
were-
yeah, like they,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
They're like on the stories,
Yeah,
like multiple
like I was
posts.
like, yeah.
Initially,
I
I
was
was jealous. I was like, you guys raised $10,000. That's insane.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we should have got out of that. We should have recruited whoever that was, to help you out with the social chain.
yeah.
Missed opportunity, man. Oh well. But yeah.
For
Well,
the best, probably.
I don't know. Outsourcing is good. Delegate all those tasks and whatnot. That's leadership. You guys know that.
You guys, yeah.
You guys know that. You gotta
I can't
delegate.
wait. I'm glad that we have enough people to start delegating.
Yeah. You can only delegate so far.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, yeah, guys. Thank you for coming on and
Yeah, thanks for having
giving us
us.
this
Yeah.
wonderful conversation.
Yes, it's been a pleasure having you guys on and learning more and expressing your stories about rugby and sharing your love and passion that is very evident. And I hope that you guys out there watching this podcast, or if you're listening to it, can hear the passion. And if it's something that you're interested in, like they've been saying and like we've said numerous times, just come out and check it out. Like even if you don't come to a practice, or if you're playing is not for you, at least come out and support. The games are so much fun to watch. The women are so exciting to watch. I got a chance to watch a game this last season, and you guys are so much fun to watch. And it's really cool to see the sisterhood and the bond that you guys talked about throughout this podcast. To be on the sidelines and be able to witness that firsthand is just really, really cool. So if you guys are even thinking about it, just come out, because it's definitely something that you don't want to miss out on, and you should definitely try. So thanks for tuning in for this week's episode. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and to also leave any comments, any questions you might have. We'll have the contact information down in the resources, and we'll have in the pinned comment so that you guys can come and check out their page, go follow them, and just keep up to date with everything that is going on with rugby in Wichita. So thanks for joining us.